Friends and viewer, James Joyce had written a very beautiful short story, or we can call it a novella, and this is published in 1914. The name of this is The Dead by James Joyce. So, The Dead is a short story by Irish writer James Joyce. The story is a part of Joyce's renowned Dubliner collection, first published in 1914, which portray daily life in the Irish city of Dublin in the early 20th century. In The Dead, a literary young man attends a party with his wife. The event at the party prompt him to reflect on his life and his place in the universe. The short story has been adopted for theater, music, and film. This guide uses in a 2004 Barnes and Noble edition of Dubliner. Kate and Julia Markin host a party around a time of Christian celebration of Epiphany. Each year the party is thrown in splendid style. They invite their friends and family, including their nephew Gabriel Conroy and his wife Greta. Gabriel is a teacher and occasionally a book reviewer. He is the favorite nephew of Kate and Julia. They eagerly await the arrival of Gabriel and Greta, though the couple is running late. A servant named Lily greets the other guests as they arrive. When Gabriel and Greta finally reach the party, Gabriel explains that they are late because Greta takes 3 mortal hours to dress herself. Lily awkwardly welcomes them into the house. She does not want to answer Gabriel's question about her young man, feeling embarrassed. He tries to tip Lily, but she tries to refuse his money. Gabriel enters the house still thinking about the speech he will need to deliver to the other guest. He is anxious not only because of his encounter with Lily, but because his speech is heavy and with literary reference which he fears may be lost on his audience, thereby making him seem ridiculous. Then what happened? Gabriel finds his aunt talking to Greta. Their aunt helps him to relax as he is the favorite nephew. Though they tease him about his choice of footwear, Gabriel explained that he and Greta have booked a hotel room in the city rather than travel all the way home immediately, which the aunt agrees is by far the best thing to do. Their conversation is interrupted by the arrival of Freddie Malins, as Kate and Julia feared. Freddie is drunk. Gabriel interjects, checking with Freddie to ensure that he is just about sober enough not to cause a scene at the party. Meanwhile, the other guests talk, drink, and dance. Mr. Brownie is a mature man who attempts to dance with young girl, insisting that he is the man for the ladies. Gabriel seeks out his help, asking him to help Freddie get his head straight. In the hushed drawing room, the party guests listen to Mary Jane play the piano. Mary Jane is a niece of Kate and Julia who lives with her aunt after her father's death. As he listens to the music, Gabriel thinks about his mother and her sullen opposition to his marriage. Gabriel, now free of Freddie, dances with a frank-mannered, talkative young lady named Miss Evor. As they dance, Miss Evor talks about interest in Irish nationalism. She teases Gabriel for his lack of patriotism, and he writes books review for a conservative newspaper. Gabriel rejects her claim that he is the West Briton. Miss Ivor invites Gabriel to prove his patriotic credentials by joining her at an Irish-speaking summer excursion in the Aryan Isle. Gabriel politely declines, explaining that he has a European vacation plan, that the Irish is not his language. When Miss Ivor again chided his lack of interest in his own country, Gabriel explained that he is sick of Ireland. When he dances Finnish, he retreats to a corner of room, though he takes to the people. He cannot shake Miss Ivor's word from his head. As dinner has been prepared, Julia entertained the guest with a song. Gabriel looks through the window at the falling snow and thinks how much more pleasant the outside seemed. Much to the Gabriel relief, Miss Ivor makes her excuses and leaves for the evening. She declines his offer to walk her home and then worries that he is the cause of her abrupt departure. Mary Jane and Greta are surprised to see her go so early. When the food is ready, the guests sit down for dinner. Gabriel takes the place of honor at the head of the table. He carves the goose and guests begin to eat. During the dinner, they talk about opera singer and monks who slept in coffin to remind them of their lost end. At last, the time comes for Gabriel to give his speech. He stands nervously and thanks his hosts and praises their hospitality, which he claims as a hallmark of Irish culture. However, he shares his concern that such qualities are lacking in the modern age. People no longer value hospitality. He believes, nevertheless, Gabriel continues, they should not dwell on the past. He does not want to waste his life thinking about the dead. Instead, he wants to live in the present and celebrate the living. Guests cheer, raising his glasses. Kate. The party draws to a close. As the guests depart, Gabriel tells a story about his grandfather. His grandfather explained once owned a horse which worked in a mill. Even when the horse left the mill, the horse followed years' experience and to walk round the round in small circle around the stage. As he finished his story, he realized that a man named Mr. Bartle is singing a song in the drawing room. Gabriel sees that his wife Greta is fascinated by the song. He is surprised at her stillness. Bartle finished, and as the song ends, the other guests prepared to leave. Greta still seemed distant, as though she still thinks about the song. As they leave, Gabriel pondered why his wife seemed so struck by a random song. He remembers their early romantic life as they exist, feels proud, joyful, tender, valorous. He wants to remember only their moments of ecstasy. They take a taxi back to the city of Dublin, to their hotel. Gabriel and Greta settle into their hotel room. Gabriel feels a keen pang of lust towards his wife, but he becomes increasingly annoyed with Greta. He longs to master of strange mood. His romantic memories prompt him to draw close to her, but she pushes him away as he tries to coax her into a physical embrace. She begins to cry. In an outburst of tears, Greta admits that she cannot stop thinking about Brittle's song. She remembers when she was a young girl in a Galloway. A young man named Michael Furey once sang that same song to her. They were romantically linked, and Michael stood in the old outside her window and sang to her. However, Michael is now dead, and Gabriel is ashamed of his lusty thought now that he knows about his wife's hidden grief. Greta explained that Michael sang to her on a cold night when he was already ill. She fears that his devotion to her is what killed him and lays sobbing on the bed. Eventually, Greta is able to fall asleep. Gabriel cannot rest. He cannot stop thinking about Greta and Michael. A man had died for the sake. Everything in his life seemed inconsequential and absurd next to his wife's grief. And he wondered how she seems almost like a different person now. He lays on the hotel bed and watches through the window as the snow falls. Gabriel imagines the snow falling all over Ireland, over covering everything in a thick white blanket. He imagines the snow falling in the grave of Michael Furey as well as all the living and the dead. So this is the story of the dead by James Joyce, and let us see the theme involved. What theme is involved behind this? The dead. The theme involved in this story is the impenetrable knowing. To Gabriel Conroy, a world is an unknowable place. He is an insular man who focuses on his own interest and travels over everyone else. Gabriel struggles to relate to others, which makes his social interaction difficult and awkward. When he first arrives at the party, for instance, he stumbles through a conversation with Lily about her love life and only seems to placate his anxiety by giving her a large tip. For there, he dances with Mrs. Ivor and struggles to keep up with her gentle teasing. He takes his command about his lack of patriotism to heart, feeling as though she has attracted excited. He retreats to the corner of the room and scrawls on direction, then silently worries that his awkwardness is the reason why she leaves so early. Even when he plans his speech, he worries that other guests will not understand his literary reference rather than change. However, Gabriel simply worries he is so insular and focused on himself that he cannot imagine the minds or motivation of others. He keeps his emotion bottled up, heightened, assuming that everything else is doing the same to him. Characters of this play is this short story. Nebula is the Gabriel Conroy, the protagonist of the novel. Gabriel Conroy is a teacher, sometimes literary critic. He's the protagonist of this dead, embodies the themes and ideas explored in this short story. Different characters think of Gabriel in different ways. His aunt view him as a dedicated, upstanding, family-oriented man who is trusted to sit at the head of the table and carve the celebratory goose, playing the role of family's masculine figure. They trust him with dealing with the drunken Freddie. So this is the novella written by James Joyce, The Dead. I hope you will enjoy. Thank you very much.